Good morning. If you want to see how we made this ramp for my little crippled dog, stay tuned, because that's what we're going to do today. Now, you can't turn off a video that has a crippled dog in it. Good morning and welcome to another Memphis Monday 379, our 15th week of year 8. I have a crippled up, old, and fat dog that's having trouble getting in the car. And so this week's project, I hope it's going to be a short one, is building a little access ramp to get up in the, to get in on the passenger side. Several factors I got to keep in mind. I got to keep it small enough, and I got to keep it light enough, and but it still has to be functional. So in the design, I'm trying to take those things into consideration. But we really can't get any considerations done unless we do what? That's right. Let's knock off that chit chat and get to work. This is the car you got to get access to. Not a very big car, but her back legs are getting in pretty bad shape, and she's getting old. Let's take a look at the specifics. This is the step up she has to make. It's about a foot from the molding here, the rubber molding, down to the deck. And I want the ramp to be able to go under the door, which is a foot off the floor. Now, you know, really, ramps are supposed to have a slope of 12 to 1. But that means that my ramp would be 12 inches at this end, but the ramp would be 12 feet long. Well, that's not going to work. You know, I want this thing to be mobile, notionally small enough even that we can, you know, throw it in the back of the car. So let's take a look at some kind of solutions here. This is the ramp I built for her some time ago. You can see it's got the ramp. I think this is about a 1 1/8 slope. And then comes up to a platform, and ideally that's what I should have. I should have a ramp with a platform up here so she can get into the door on a flat surface. But I can't afford that extra space, I don't think. Let's look at the design I've come up with. Here's the plan as I see it right now. We really have 3 main parts. The sides, there'll be 2 of those, 42 inches long. The slope will be 43 and 11/16 and 12-inch rise, and there'll be 2 of those. This is the top. This is the actual ramp itself, and it'll be, of course, same distance as this distance here, 18 inches wide, and it will have nailers. We'll build this thing first. It'll have nailers with 1x material along the edges here, and then have stiffeners on the end, and then in 2 other locations that'll go crossways. And there'll also be a 1x stiffener down here in the corner, down here. The whole thing will be made by, the main component will be 3 16-inch plywood. I want to make this thing as light as possible, and I use whatever scrap 1x material I can find. All right, let's make some sawdust. I got the three main pieces cut out here. How they'll go. They'll go like this with, this would be the ramp here. And these side pieces will go in here like this. And that'll be our ramp. Okay, now we have to think about is the joinery we're going to use to connect these these sides together. We don't want it to look like a blind man did it, so let's put some effort into it. This is a schematic of the joint I'll be using. This is the joint right here. It's some 1x material that it's got a dado cut into it for the sides and a rabbet cut in for the ramp. And where I'm at now, I got a 3.5-inch board. I've got the dados already cut. Now what I need to do is cut out this rabbet. And once that rabbet's out of there, and then I'll make a center line cut, and so that I'll have this two of these joints, one for each side. You can see that this is a same thing as this. This might be easier to visualize. It's the actual board we're going to be cutting. You can see the rabbets on either side, or the dados on either side. And I'll be cutting this where this black is. I'll be cutting that out with the dado, my dado head cutter. Here you can see the dado set up. There's no set distance here. I just made it 3/4 inch or so. And I'll just make several passes until I waller out this entire black section of the board. Let's give it a try and see if it works. So there you can see, I got that first cut in there. And now I'll just move my fence over. And take out a little bit more. Until I get it all wallered out. And that's how it works. So I got the profile I want. Now all I need to do is cut this thing right down the center, and that is 1 11/16. Now I got the joints mocked up here. You can see how they're going to work. Beauty of it is the ends of the plywood aren't showing. And it has that finished edge on it. Okay, I think we can trim it up and start doing some assembly. I got one of the sides here assembled. First thing we'll do is we'll put this top part on. That's our 3/16 inch plywood there, and it's got the bottom and top and the end. Now, one of the things you got to think about whenever you got these angles like this, I don't know if that's in the, is if you're not careful, you'll put this top rail here on the wrong side. You know, this is the long side, the hypotenuse, but they're only about an inch different in length. So you can get confused if you're thinking about something else. So that will go like that. And then we need to attach this right on here like this. Let's go ahead and do that. Now what we do here is in that channel, this channel right here, we'll put glue, and this will make, when that glue dries, this joint will be particularly effective. Okay, now remember, we got to make sure that we attach it here on the correct side. So this is my 90-degree angle. This is the hypotenuse. So I'm going to put it right here. So put that in the channel. Okay, now what I'm going to do is drive pins into the side. These are 23 gauge headless pins. Now what I'm doing here is I'm able to go ahead and cut this off after I attach the side. That way I'll get it exact without measuring it. Okay, next thing we need to attach is this bottom brace here. Now this is the brace that'll be against the ground. And what we have to do is we have to cut this angle right here on our piece of trim. Let's see how we do that. And to get that angle, pretty simple. I got my trim in there, flushed up in the groove. And let's put a straight edge on it. Now this straight edge is flushed up against the top there, and then I can just mark that angle. And then I can cut that angle we just marked on there. I can cut it on the jigsaw. Now that was a particularly bogus cut, but what I'll do to flatten it out is I'll just put it on my sander here. Now a little another dry fit, because I'll be same deal here. I fixed that cut. I'll just put some glue down that dado. Oh, we got the bottom trim in place. Now we need to do this end trim. Let's go see what that looks like. Okay, here's the end trim. This is some 1x material that's turned on edge. Show the angles that we'll need to have. Got that angle right there. And then at the bottom, it will have that little notch in it. Let's line those out. How to get this angle, I'm just going to hold it flush with that side. And then starting from this corner, I'll just draw a line that's parallel with this top part here. Now I'll just check my cut. Now I'll cut the thing to length. Okay, there's my about 7-degree angle on that end. Now at this end, I need to cut out that little notch. I'll cut it out with the jigsaw like we did before. Here I'll just mark it. And then I'll come over here and get the depth of it. I don't know if you can see that, but that's how I'm getting the depth. Okay, and I'll go cut that out real quick with the jigsaw. Of course, you know, it's not a jigsaw, it's a scroll saw. And I'll attach this also with pins. I went ahead and put the top on it. I just glued it and nailed it to the sides. The last piece I put on was this brace across here, this top brace. That will stabilize the legs, and I think to make this thing strong enough. I'm gonna go ahead and put some stain on this thing, and then we'll take a look at it. Well, there's our dog ramp for Memphis Money 379. We made it out of whatever material we could find around the shop. Turned out all right. It's a pretty simple project, but I think we had some takeaways. Primary takeaway is the kind of joinery we used. Here's the 3/16" plywood, and we used this wood that's been with a rabbet and a dado. And the beauty of this, and we've done this on other projects, is you can put your plywood in that dado and glue it. It makes a real good joint. And you can also put it sideways in the rabbet. And this is exactly the system we used in our project today. All right, overall I'm pretty satisfied. Well, it does it for another Memphis Monday. Memphis Monday 379, our 15th week of year 8. Today we built a little ramp, a little simple ramp for my little crippled dog to get up into the car. I guess it's pretty common. I think they call it hip aphasia or something. If you look around on the internet, you'll see the little dogs that they're walking around with back wheels, and they're just pulling themselves along with the front legs. Well, my dog is getting, it's getting not that bad, but getting bad. Anyway, I think we had some good takeaways on the joinery. We've used that joinery before. I believe it was on the trash cans we made a couple of years ago. But anyway, like and favorite, share, and all the stuff you do on the internet. But most important, make sure you're back here next week for another exciting Memphis Monday. Thanks for playing along.